Welcome to yet another episode of Shortcast over Coffee. In today's episode, we are going to explore the history of navigation in automobiles and the origin story of Google Maps. In the 1960s, people in large and sparsely populated countries like the US and Australia used to carry paper maps with them. You could get them at gas stations, and most of them were even printed by oil and gas companies like Shell and Esso. Then came the 1970s when mass market road atlases were published, like the Rand McNally Road Atlas. It was around the same time that the US Department of Defense began development of a global positioning system, or GPS. 1980s was a step ahead with some early GPS-based navigators like the ETAC navigator. The story of ETAC is quite crazy in itself, where the founders got this idea while on a 2,000 odd nautical mile trip from LA to Hawaii. But that's going to be set aside for another episode. Mid 1990s saw a big change in direction with the launch of MapQuest, and MapQuest remained the dominant player till 2004. In 2004, with four men in Australia, Noel Gordon, Stephen Ma, and brothers Lars and Jens Rasmussen, had a better idea to create a better digital mapping experience. You see, MapQuest was slow and clunky. Noel Gordon described trying to use MapQuest as World Wide Wait for www. You'd click on a map, you go make a cup of coffee while you waited for it to load. It was very slow. They then launched the company Where2 Technologies. The Where2 team knew they could make something better by utilizing new web technologies like Ajax. Now, the origins of Where2 Technologies are an unusual startup story. The founders were in their mid-30s and 40s, not your typical college dropout entrepreneurs working long hours. They worked very regular hours, thanks to Noel's girlfriend, who allowed them to use the spare bedroom in their apartment if they stopped work at 6 p.m. and took the weekends off. As Noel puts it, they were the only startup working 9 to 5. The timing of the founders was impeccable. They had all been laid off from previous jobs after the dot-com crash. Noel was working in a clothing factory and Lars was sleeping on his mom's couch back in Denmark. But in 2004, the tech landscape was heating up again, and Google co-founder Larry Page took an interest in their mapping software prototype. Page then set an ambitious deadline for the Where2 team to pivot their software to be web-based instead of a desktop installable application. The team hustled and delivered a web version of their maps on time. This led to Google acquiring Where2 in 2004 for an undisclosed sum of money. Google then launched Google Maps publicly in February 2005. It quickly became a smash hit and now is a Google product we take for granted. When we consider how mapping worked before 2005, it's amazing how far we have come in just over 15 years.